Hi, my name is Robyn Buckley, and I am an attorney at the law offices of Jason Taylor. I've actually been with Jason for a little over 3 years now on this go-round. I had actually worked for Jason many years ago when he was in another practice, and he had plucked me out of the Gaston County Public Defender's Office. I had begun my career there in 2000 after graduating from law school at West Virginia University College of Law. And the time in the Gaston County Public Defender's Office was one of the best times. I got experience that you can't even imagine. I got to do a lot of bench trials right off the bat, which a bench trial is where only the judge makes the decision. There's no jury. That happens in primarily district court cases in criminal court. From there, I was able to our offices were in the courthouse. So we were able to be in the same place as the district attorneys, as the judges, and the judges in North Carolina and Superior Court, they rotate through in their districts. So I got the opportunity to meet judges and have a different relationship than when you probably ordinarily would just going and being in court randomly on a civil practice. So that was invaluable. Then, when I was in the Gaston County Public Defender's Office, I also had my first jury trial. It was a DWI appeal from district court. We had lost in the district court, but I'm glad to say that in the Superior Court jury trial, we won. My client won. So that made my love of jury trials. And I continued to try cases for the next 14 years until I made the decision finally that I was going to take some time away from doing trials and focus on my family. At that point, I had gone from Jason's office and working with him. I actually switched sides, and I did defense work for 10 years from the civil side. So that's a little bit different. Some people, you hear about plaintiffs' lawyers or injury lawyers or defense attorneys or insurance attorneys. And, if you don't do this, you may not know exactly what that means or entails. So as a defense attorney, I actually was retained by the insurance companies to defend personal injury suits, construction defect claims, insurance coverage claims. If there was anything that was a dispute, whether it was the amount in controversy, whether it was liability, which means who's at fault, whether it was, does this policy even apply to give coverage? So one thing that people may not understand as well with that is that if you get sued in, let's say, a auto accident in North Carolina, the person who sues does not sue the insurance company. They actually sue the person who is at fault. However, their insurance will hire a defense attorney for them, and they will defend the claim. And that is what I did for 10 years. So after doing that for 10 years, I took a break and I came back to the plaintiff's side. And from there, I worked for a couple years in a large office, and I really wasn't practicing law at that point. Had to have a law degree for it, but it was more customer service based, client interaction, making sure that the types of cases that we were taking were ones that we wanted to handle. I actually decided at that point that I missed being in court, and my son was getting older. So I had talked to Jason. He and I had kept in touch over the years, and he had told me, anytime you're ready for a change, call me first. So I did, and he welcomed me back with open arms, and we haven't looked back since. Jason has reintroduced me to my love of jury trials. He and I try cases jointly and together many times, even small district court cases or larger superior court cases. And that's one of the things that I love about being with Jason and in his office. He actually does try cases that need to be tried, and some that maybe other people wouldn't. He's willing to take a risk. And so in that sense, he does balance me out a little bit, because I tend to be a little bit more conservative, less of a risk taker, but always an advocate for our clients. And so I think the two of us together in that regard make a good team. We try all kinds of cases. We try auto cases. We try auto fraud cases. We try car accidents. We try slip and falls, premises liability. We try pretty much anything that falls under the civil practice umbrella. At our firm, we have workers' compensation, which is if you get injured on the job, because that is not fault-based. That's why they have their own separate insurance with the Industrial Commission. We try sexual harassment cases, employment discrimination cases. We have a broad range, and we have offices in North and South Carolina. I think currently we have 5 different offices. We have the Charlotte office, which is where I primarily practice out of. We have our Hickory office, which is, I guess, considered our main office, our hub office, because that's where Jason started, and he is not from Catawba County, but he lives in Catawba County, and so he wanted to be based there. We have an office in Rock Hill, South Carolina. We have an office in Columbia, South Carolina, and we have an office in Greenville, North Carolina. And Jason's always looking to expand. So with regard to myself, my practice, again, is primarily civil, which means we're looking for money damages. So some of the things that people, when they call, we want to make sure that it's something that we can actually, what we like to say, add value to the claim. Some people say, well, what, my case isn't big enough for you? And that's not it. It's actually that, some of the smaller claims, like if you got in an accident, let's say, and you only had to go to the emergency room, you're actually probably better off handling it on your own because we take a fee. That's how we make our money. We work on what's called a contingency basis. That means that we don't get paid unless you get paid. So it gives us a vested interest and trying to get the best result for you that we can, because the more money we make for you, the more money we make for ourselves. And that's another reason why Jason's willing to go to court and try cases on ones that we feel the insurance company isn't giving the value that we think it should. So in that regard, we always want to make sure that we can add that value to your claim, because let's say if you didn't have any treatment or anything and the insurance company was willing to give you X amount of dollars. As the lawyer, we might be able to get you some more money, but by the time we apply our fee, then you're actually not in any better position. So we want to make sure when we're evaluating cases for us to take on, that we can add value to the claim. We want you to be better off having hired us than not. So it's not anything personal. It's just, we have taken a look and an approach at these cases to say, where can we be of help? Because that's what we do as plaintiffs' attorneys. We want to help people where we can. Personally, myself, I am born and raised in West Virginia. I moved to North Carolina when I graduated from law school in 2000. Again, so now I've been practicing for almost 20 years, not to give my age away. So the good thing that I think that I bring to the table in that regard is that I basically have had half of my career doing defense work and half of my career doing plaintiff's work. So I like to think that I have a perspective from both sides. It also, I think, is helpful now in my practice because I've done the work for the insurance companies. I know how they look at claims. I know how they evaluate claims. I know what their issues that they're going to talk about or bring up for reasons why they shouldn't pay you money. And so our job as the plaintiff attorney is to try to come up with the reasons that they should pay you money. Again, our job is to be an advocate for our clients. So in that regard, I actually am also a certified mediator in North Carolina. I have been a certified mediator for the past 6 years. I only do civil superior, but I also do Mecklenburg County, Gaston County, Catawba County, Caldwell, surrounding counties, Lincoln. We do go all over the state, especially because we do have offices across the state, but we want to make sure that we have a familiarity with the area where we want to practice, because when you can bring that familiarity to the courtroom, to the clients, that warmth, that understanding of who they are, where they came from. I have worked all my life. I've worked since I was 15 years old. I even took 2 years off in between going to law school from college because I wasn't ready for law school yet, and I needed that life experience because life experience is something that helps you relate to clients. It helps you relate to the jury when you're out there in front of them. And, you know, for jury trials, they need to like you. They need to like you as the client. They need to like you as the attorney. If they like you, they're going to want to give you more money. If they don't like you, they may put a value on your claim, but it's not going to be as much as if they like you. So that life experience, that relatability, I think is something that not only myself, but Jason and the other attorneys here at the law offices of Jason Taylor can bring to your claim. If you have any questions or want to see if we can help with your particular case, please give us a call at 800-351-3008. You can also find us on the web at thelitigator.com. You can actually submit any questions through there. They will come to the attorneys in our intake department and our investigators so that we can take a look at your case. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. We hope to hear from you soon.